No?
Collective.
Copper Collective. Oh, I was so close.
You almost had it.
Oh, he told me
knew
to
you-
leave it out. He told me to leave it out. He said Copper Collective.
Cactus, copper.
No, Copper Cactus.
Oh shit! See, and I messed it up.
Right?
too.
Copper Cactus?
Yes, it is copper cactus.
Yeah, I had that part right.
You threw me off.
Okay. Copper Cactus Collective.
There we go.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Hey.
That was fun.
And welcome back to the Rally Black Project. Crystal and John.
Hey.
We are, for patrons, we're in Vegas.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
patrons, if you listen on the first day, or if you listen that weekend.
And if
we're
you
in
listen
Vegas.
on Monday, we're
We're
recovering.
back.
Yeah.
So it's the first of the
the
month.
first of the month. Yeah. Like
Yeah, beginning
Bone
of the
Thugs.
month. That's it.
Yeah.
So that means
But before that,
before that.
I'm gonna make sure to do our sponsorship first. So I
Sponsor.
don't make sure.
Yes.
I don't
Brought
forget.
to you by
Katie, which she's
Monarch
also
Pine, also
a patron.
on the
so
list.
yeah, Katie with Monarch Pine is giving all of our members 10% off with code Riley Black on monarchpine.etsy.com. Yeah.
Perfect. Now on to the shout outs. We couldn't do the show without you guys.
Rapid fire. I think I might have to start splitting them, but for now.
For now, we're going to do it all in
Yes. Okay.
one. Okay, here we go.
Stephanie Aaron, Catherine with Primary Market, Aaron with Aaron's Acrylic Animals, Christy C, Jess with Jersey Girl Sign Shop, Jillian B, Allison with Black River Arts, Trisha, she's like mom of 6 creations, I think. I need to put that. Heather Lynn with Lobo Designs, Crystal with Spreading Stardust, Liz with the longest name on the planet, Laser Outpost X Tool Jewelry Blanks, Super Fan Brandy Mahoney, Victor with Excited Adams, Katie with Monarch Pine,
Again.
Camille, Lisa, David with Creative Cut Supplies, get that dual tight if you haven't already, Stephanie Long, Barbie, Madison with Laser Maple, Emily with TM Wall,
That
Mark
mom with the laser.
Mark with Big Blue Laser Designs, the Kathy Ray, Ryan with Sprouts Creations, and Will with Crazy Laser Jack.
Mark should go by BBL.
You should.
I'm going to throw that out there to him next time.
I like that.
Yeah, BBL.
I'm here for it.
Mark with a BBL. Mark with BBL.
He'll love that so much. That reminds me, I should resurrect that wonderful clip we have of his.
Yes. That'll make for a good teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Who we got?
this is a good one.
It's a fun one.
Yeah, it's a fun one. This he is celebrating 10 years
That's pretty
self-employment, which is pretty
Right?
big.
Not for the week.
No. And was a rodeo photographer.
Yeah.
Or
I definitely have some questions on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then let's welcome Olie with Copper Cactus Creative.
Nope.
No?
Collective.
Copper Collective. Oh, I was so close.
You almost had it.
Oh, he told me
knew
to
you-
leave it out. He told me to leave it out. He said Copper Collective.
Cactus, copper.
No, Copper Cactus.
Oh shit! See, and I messed it up.
Right?
too.
Copper Cactus?
Yes, it is copper cactus.
Yeah, I had that part right.
You threw me off.
Okay. Copper Cactus Collective.
There we go.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Hey.
That was fun.
Well, first of all, before we get into any of that, I was complimenting you in the pre-show about your very nice background.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the best we've had on the show because most
Thanks.
people are just in their workspace. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would love. I'm planning on making a sign to go here, but I've been planning that for like 3 years now. So good luck.
Same.
We'll see if that ever.
Same.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for now, this is it. So, I mean, I'm kind of a cheater. I have a real camera sitting there, a little Sony
Nice.
mirrorless camera, and good lights and the whole thing. So,
Well, yeah. I mean,
What
with
Sony
the
do you
photo
have?
and video background.
this is the A7 III sitting there. It's oldie but a goodie. Yeah,
Yeah.
not bad.
Full frame. Nice.
Yeah, full frame. Yeah,
Guy's
gotta
gonna
get
geek
that
out,
depth
I
of
can
field.
see.
Yeah, we're sitting there with a 16 to 35 2.8 lens on there, little G Master. Yeah,
Nice.
is it that buttery smooth background?
Right.
Bokeh, those in the know.
If
Nice.
you know, you know.
Right.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
then 10 years ago, was that the photography or were you doing, so tell us about kind of like how you got into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, for sure. I've kind of dabbled a little bit before that, but this is like a decade solid.
Hmm.
So I was doing an internship with Peabody Energy in Gillette, Wyoming. They're like one of the biggest coal companies out there.
Okay.
And I'd gone to school. One of my 3 degrees is for like being a landman. And
Fancy.
so we were, helping them buy, sell, trade, deal with their land issues
Mm.
and whatever. So I was at the courthouse all the time, and I saw these people with a camera, like a real camera. They were taking
Hmm.
pictures of the documents and flipping the pages and whatever. And I just had my goofy little iPhone, and I'm sitting here hunched over, and it was
Right.
killing my back. So I told my parents, I said, I was like, I was in college, and I said, I'm going to save up and buy like a real camera because that's what everybody else seems to be doing. And they
Yeah.
surprised me a few days early, or like a month early, I guess, for my birthday with a real camera. And then I took
Nice.
it in, and my boss said, "Oh, I don't want you doing that. That's the wrong thing. That is the old school way. We're new school. Like we're doing it better, whatever." And she was right. That was really hard, and
Yeah.
I couldn't return it, right? And so I
Yeah.
felt really bad because I couldn't make any money with it. So like, why
Right.
should I have it? I've wanted one since I was a little kid, but like I didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
But my parents said, next week we have a barrel race, so why don't you come and take pictures of this barrel race? And the guy that's taking the team roping pictures, like they had a team roping and a barrel race and a calf roping in this big event
Yeah.
every year they used to do. And so they said, he'll show you the ropes and whatever, just come and he'll tell you what to do, and you can just set up and try to make some money with your camera.
Yeah.
He didn't show up, turns out, but
Oh no.
I tried as hard as I could to learn everything I could in that week time. And I showed
Right.
up, and I made more money in 2 days than I did in the last 5 days working my real job. So that kind of
That'll
like
do it.
lit the fire, pretty quick. So I
Yeah.
thought, well, it can only go up from here. And it sure did by a long
Yeah.
ways.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
So how long did you do that for?
I did that until 2020. At the very end
Okay.
of 2020, like in December, I hung up my hat there. I retired from that life, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we moved here to Phoenix.
Nice. And so how did you get into laser stuff? How do you go from
Yeah.
rodeo photography to laser stuff?
I know you wouldn't think they'd be related, but
Right.
back in 2014, I realized pretty quickly I needed a way to market myself, to market my Olie's Images,
Mm.
my little photography company. So I
Yeah.
made shirts for me and my crew. I always had people working for me, and so I always wanted us all to like look the same, look
Yeah.
like we
Right.
belong together or whatever.
Right.
And if I'm wearing a shirt around, like to the concessions or whatever, like I always just want to be
Yep.
branded, head to
Yep.
toe branding.
Very important.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I got like a Cricut and some other little stuff, and started making my own things and making my own
Yeah.
shirts and whatever. My friends in college, like I accidentally wore one to class one day. It was like one I had like embroidered, it was
Uh-huh.
like a jacket or something, and I just grabbed it, didn't even think about it, and wore it to class. My friend's like, "Oh, I didn't know you had a clothing line." I'm like, you guys,
You're like, yeah,
I had
sure.
one jacket embroidered. Like, this is not a line. If you need 2 points to make a line.
Well, I mean, that's more of a line than they probably had.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, most of them never even thought about putting any
Right.
kind of logo or anything on a shirt other than what they
Right.
buy at the stores.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then where did it go from there? So then did that just kind of like snowball into, I mean, it's the gateway drug as we say on
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It hit me right there. You know what I mean? It's like right in the veins.
right.
Yeah. So I started doing other crafty things, and we, kind of snowballed. And then I bought one of those big, felt big at the time because I was doing all of this traveling for like rodeo photography in a fifth
Right.
wheel. I've gone through several iterations of an RV, but at the end it was a fairly large, like 45-foot fifth wheel,
Wow.
triple
Okay.
axle toy hauler, and I broke the axles with all the camera gear I put in there,
Oh,
and,
wow.
and some crafting gear too, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't tell my accountant that, but yeah. So like I bought one of these big like 24-inch roll printers for doing sublimation, right? And I started with these little ear tags, and I bought a little bit of sublimation, like a print from somebody else.
Yeah.
And I started, and at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I had just like finally got around to getting my easy press and pressing it, and I just snapped a quick picture, put it on Facebook. I sold $4,000 worth of
Wow.
those in an hour. Like
Oh
by
my
3 a.m., I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy town," and I was
Right?
like, "I did not expect that at all."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
we just started like doing sublimation on the side in the trailer. It had like a 13-foot garage, and so
Mm-hmm.
we had like that kind of stuff set up in there. I got a press, and I was able to like really crank out a lot of products super fast.
Right.
And then when I moved here, like every time I went to print, it was like just an awful printer. I hated it. I had to reinstall the drivers like almost every
All the
day.
time. Yeah.
It was crazy town.
Yeah.
So, I'd always wanted a laser, but like did not have room for it in the RV. But when we came
Right.
here, it was like a year or so went by, 2 years maybe. And
Mm-hmm.
I finally found one on like Facebook Marketplace that was like, half the price of new and had very low hours on it. So we bid on
Yeah.
that and went and jumped, and that was a
Oh
little
my
over a
God.
year ago.
Yeah.
And then a few months later, we decided to start calling it Copper Cactus Collective and kind of branch it off of the Olie's Images stuff and let it be its own thing.
Nice.
Nice.
Speaking of low hours, I found out the hours on my Mira
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very
You want to share?
not really,
Okay.
but I feel like I need to now.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's only 64. But the actual like machine on was something like 500 and something.
hours?
Yeah, because what happened a lot of times was the connectivity, especially in our old house.
Right.
I struggled big time. So I was
Right, so you
trying
just
to
wouldn't
use like
turn it off.
Wi-Fi and we tried many different like routes. And what was best, and which is what the tried and true is now, even with the Lightburn Bridge, was the USB, but the machine was behind me, which
Right.
means the USB would have had to go across like my
room,
walkway, and I 100% would have tripped over it and broke something or broke the port or whatever. So yeah, I would leave it on while I'd fix something, adjust something. I'd have it on almost all day. And then I'd turn it off when I knew I was done cutting, basically when it was assembled. Because even sometimes, you go to assemble something and you're like, this is too small. Oh, I lost the dot of the I, all those things. And I didn't want to go through trying to get it like connected again.
Right.
Because sometimes it was like that and sometimes it was not.
No, like that.
Which it was always when I needed it to be like that.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, Miss Mariah Carey, she doesn't sing all the time.
Like the real
it's
Mariah
very, it's very special occasions
during the holidays.
Christmas. Exactly.
Sings the hits.
She
And
does.
then
She
she
sings
goes
the hits
back.
and then, she takes a little bit of a break. But hopefully that means when I go sell my,
Yeah.
Mariah Carey
The Riley
for the
Black
red
edition.
line. To get the
Yes.
red line,
Yeah.
then there's only 64 hours on her.
So feel free to send
Maybe under
offers.
100.
Feel
Yeah.
free to send offers.
Yeah, especially if you're local to Florida.
Yeah.
We can make this deal that it's yours once I get my new one.
Yeah.
And maybe they
There you
could
go.
even start making payments.
Yeah.
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 I'm
Yeah.
open.
So-
I'm open to any and all
We'll
offers.
discuss.
Yeah. We
So
did that
what
with
was-
ours too. So,
Really?
Yeah. Because I've got this Boss. It's still downstairs in our garage.
Yeah, I
but,
was just gonna ask what
um,
it was.
Yeah, it's a Boss LS 1630.
Nice.
And one of my friends that's local here over in Peoria, like we met on TikTok, and just like all my other laser friends, and then they started coming. They actually started coming when I sold the sublimation printer. I had a bunch of sublimation blanks, and they do sublimation, so they came over and bought it and bought a bunch of
Nice.
blanks from me, and that was our start of our friendship. And when they found out that I bought the Mirror 9,
Yeah.
they said, "Hey, we want that old Boss." So I think they're gonna buy it. Sounds like.
Nice.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah. Right. And I mean,
Yeah.
it would be really awesome, especially if it's someone with like a Glowforge or maybe one of the small X tools or like kind of the starter hobby lasers. And if they wanted to buy one, it really is the perfect like jump into industrial without having to wait, and two, without having to pay all the money up front for one new.
Right.
If you can get one resale, that's golden.
Yeah.
That wasn't even I don't. One, I didn't even look, but I highly doubt
Right.
there were many like Miras or Eons for
feel
sale
like they
because
were
I mean I
too
was on
new.
shipment 4.
Yeah, exactly. There were two.
I didn't
Right.
know I was on like shipment like legit 4, like only the 4th one, but
Right.
you know I found that
Yeah.
out later.
That's crazy.
So
that's
yeah,
how
You're
Aaron,
OG.
OG. That's
what
how
were you
OG the
on?
machine is.
right?
Yeah, I was
What-
on 95.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They've been busy.
Oh yeah.
Hey there, podcast listeners. How great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape your 9 to 5 to embrace your lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Freedom to Create webinar, where you'll learn how to make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon Laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head over to eonlaser.us/why us and sign up for the Freedom to Create webinar today.
Thanks for listening.
Speaking of all things laser, check out Houston Acrylic at houstonacrylic.com for reliable laser tested and laser approved materials.
Made for makers by makers, Houston Acrylic features over 450 styles of acrylic sheets. With over 50 new arrivals being released this month, Houston Acrylic is committed to bringing new and innovative styles to the laser community. My personal favorite is the matte, anything matte, and I feel it's perfect for everything.
Don't forget to save 10% by using our exclusive coupon code TRBP10 at checkout. Get inspired today and visit houstonacrylic.com.
Do it. What are your favorite things to make on your... Well, so how many lasers do you have? 2
We
questions
have
there.
just 2. Well, we
Okay.
got 3 actually. I always forget about this fiber that's sitting here next to me that I haven't set up yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know
Oh,
the struggle.
Yep.
Yep.
We don't feel bad. We set ours up and focused it.
Yeah.
That's
it.
about it.
Yeah.
Then the
That's as far as
progress
I've gotten.
stalled Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't even
Yeah.
made the focus.
Oh crap! I
stick.
should have made that when she was on the other
Yeah,
day.
we haven't even made that. So it's like it's
Oh, yeah.
focused and it has stayed at that level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine has 2 little like red dots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
a lot. I was like, oh, that's it. Okay. All right. Well, I got other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, did those your measurement bracelets? Did those go like viral or like?
Yeah.
Tell me more about those because they're pretty cool. He was checking them out,
Yeah.
thinking they were pretty awesome. Because I mean,
Oh yeah.
how many of us makers are always looking for the measuring
Right.
tape?
Not even
Exactly.
just makers.
True.
Just like
Yes.
if you do
Yes, if
like
you-
anything around the house
Anything.
or
True. Very
Yeah.
true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had so many people like tell me about all these stories. Like nurses are getting them to measure wounds.
Oh.
Fishermen are taking them
Oh,
to make
yeah,
sure their
for
fish is
sure.
legal. Seamstresses, of course. We made some crochet specific ones. We've
That's
kind of
awesome.
gone off the rockers. I was just thinking I should have had one sitting here, but we
Right.
made little keychains for people that don't like the bracelet. Was that focused? I don't know. Probably not.
Smart,
There you go.
There we go.
There we go. So
There it is.
the bracelet looks just like that, except for like way super longer. And then we
Yeah.
made the key ring, the keychain ones that like,
Wristlets.
unsnap,
that.
and then you can snap it around something. Like I see tons of people take and snap it around like they're Stanleys.
Well, and so I actually bought something on Amazon, and it's to actually measure the circumference of a baby's head.
Oh yeah.
But people
there you go.
use them to measure their tumblers to put in the diameter into their rotary settings. So that would also
Yeah.
be perfect for that as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you
whatever.
How long is the bracelet?
We make them from
depends.
6 inches to 20 inches. So you
Okay.
can either single wrap or double wrap your wrist, no matter how big it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I, way back when I used to actually make, what do you call them? Apple.
Oh, the
Watch
Apple
band
Watches,
designs?
watch bands.
Yeah.
I did one that had like the measurements on it for like Father's Day, and I made it in like a yellow one.
Oh, cool.
and then that was hard. It was really hard. Like, and I had to like say like it's not exact, but like my OCD is pretty damn exact. But like I had to like, because you have to like, I had to measure including the watch face, and that like really threw me off. And then I, of course, because I am who I am, I had to make a perverted version.
Oh yeah.
You know, because you men like to measure things and exaggerate measurements.
That's another great thing. You don't have to use the remote control anymore.
Right. That's like a little bit how we went a tiny bit viral too. We got dudes talking about their junk and women replying.
Right. Like, I got this little bracelet. Hold on.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. You just gotta slide it in there the right way, and people go talking about it like crazy. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the. This is going south fast, but that white cock and black cock debate.
Yes, the real, not debate. It's just showing you the many uses.
What was it? The white on the front door and black on the back. But
no, the other way around.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that.
Yeah. It's the other way around.
It was pretty funny though. I mean, I hate saying that word depending on the audience. So I exaggerate the L.
The L.
The silent L.
Yeah.
It's men created like that word, and it's like when I used to work in the oil industry, there were so many terms where it's like, a man made up that term
and giggled as
Yeah. So there was like pig launcher was one of them. Stripper rubber was another one. Dead man's something. I don't remember what went after dead man, but it's like when I would see the invoices for these things, and I'm like, they could legit be sending an invoice for a murder they committed or a stripper they hired, and we'd be like, okay, cool, send that off, $1,500 coming right up.
Yep.
Don't blink an eye.
Right.
That's it.
So, having been an entrepreneur, I mean, I guess even on and off before you started 10 years ago, like, what is your advice to other people attempting to do the same thing? Like, I'm about to hit, I think 6. I honestly don't even know. I should probably figure that out.
And I'm finishing out my first year.
Yeah. And it's been a rough few months, like on and off, maybe even like a couple years. I don't know. But like, so what's some advice to like, how do you keep going?
I would say like make up your own rules and like test them out for a while. Try it for a month or two. Like make a rule and stick to it, whatever it is. I mean, I don't. You got to like make up your own stuff. Don't just ask other people like what to do, because like none of us know. We're just making it up as we go.
We really are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get all kinds of people asking me like, well, what should I do? Should I do this or that? I'm like, just try it. Try both. Try one for 6 weeks. Try the other one for 6 weeks. Like whatever it takes. Yeah, you might try it for like 3 days and go, whoa, this is a really bad idea, and then change it,
Right. Or you try it like, a couple of things you try it and it's like, oh, that was a really great idea.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So your advice
and read more
is
books.
To just wing it.
Wing it.
Read more books.
Wing it. Read more books. Yeah. Like there's tons of these books. Like, I mean, I could grab like Tools of Titans, right? Like flip to any page in here, and they're all like, here's a bookmarked page. 5 morning rituals that help me win every day. Try that for a while. Try somebody else's advice. I forget who said it, but like, if you read a book, you get to add that author's age onto your life, right? Like however many years they lived, you can tack that onto your life, gain that experience. I mean, there's things in that book that have just like leveled up my whole business. You know what I mean? So it's just like, there's all kinds of, and you never know what book's going to do it for you. You just got to read more books.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And I get the winging it part, because it's a lot like being a parent. Like you don't you don't know what you're doing. There's no handbook.
Well, and even if there is a handbook, that handbook doesn't apply to every situation, to every child, to every, it's just like, small business. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool for you.
Right.
But that doesn't work for me.
Right. And I guess every time you meet someone in the same industry that's a little bit ahead of you, you always kind of want to know, like,
Right.
Because we all like to have a blueprint of like what to do.
Yeah, we want to do this, and you're gonna make $1 million bucks.
Because the whole thing is like, oh,
Yeah.
I keep trying all these things and nothing's hitting.
Right.
You get, you know, it wears on you because like nothing's hitting
Yeah.
and this and that. Like how many
Right.
times have we changed either my pricing sheet
Right.
or
Oh my
like
God.
redone like what I'm going after? Like, am I going after business to business? Am I
Yep.
going after events?
Right.
You know, so it's like, yeah, you have to just keep like you said, keep trying new things and seeing what feels right,
Yeah.
what starts to like move the needle.
Yeah. But consistency.
Yeah, but keep
Is
keep
what-
going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's not even
We
necessarily in
like
the
to
details
really
all the time.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
you're fine.
We like to look at the 80-20 principle from Pareto. You know, take the
what's that?
20% of your actions is leading to 80% of your income, basically. You know,
Yeah.
so we like to chop off that 80% that's not really driving our business forward, and really focus down on that 20% that is making our
Right.
business like really expand. So like in
Yeah.
photography, every year I would go through and I would cross off the bottom events, you know, like the ones that we either lost money, obviously those have to go. The ones that barely made any money, those have to go. And we just kept the ones where we were really, really killing it. And then it wouldn't take long for our schedule to fill back in with ones that
Right.
were at that level or higher. And then watch out, you know, then watch your
Right.
business. I started listening to a book, audio book, you know, 10X, going 10X is easier than 2X. And I mean, that just sounds like my last 10 years of business right there. So it's all about
Writing that
10X
one
in your
down?
stuff. Yeah, it is such a good book, and it's right, you know, like you can go through and find like incremental little changes to like, you know,
Right.
double your business. You can work twice as hard and
Right.
make twice as much money, but you can't work 10 times harder and make 10 times as much money. You got to figure out some other way to make 10X the money or whatever
Right.
it is, whatever your milestone is or your marker.
Yeah. I've recently started to do that with just with my product offering with the keychain accessories. It's really hard for me not to want to like just carry all the things.
Right.
But
Yep.
carrying all the things, and especially if they're slow movers, they're in my way for
Yep.
other things that could be better movers with better margins. And so
Yep.
I just started recently, and you know, I made the clearance section, I don't know how long ago, but I just kept,
Right.
you know, tweaking it and putting it off and moving this and waiting for this and waiting for this. And then, you know, kept talking about, you know, do I need to keep the wristlets or not? And I was like, you know what, just screw it, 20% off, 20%
Right.
off. And then,
Yep.
you know, I'm going to reduce them until they're all gone. And then it makes room for the other stuff that, you know, and my wristlets had a terrible margin at that. I sold them then because it got people in the door to my store.
Right.
And they were hot then, you know, but they definitely weren't the money maker for
Right.
sure. You know, some of the wristlets only had like $1 or so like profit.
Right.
And you know, they were spending $5 and I'm like, you know, I'm only making $1. But you know, it got them in the store at the time, and now it's like, well, that's not getting them in the store, and they take up a lot of space too,
Right.
because they're a lot bigger than a lot of the keychain blanks. And so that was, you know, a realization of like, okay, like even if I potentially lose money on them right now compared to what I bought them for, the space that they're using right now is
Valuable.
it's costing
Right.
it's
Yeah.
costing money.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting rid of the stuff and not like trying not to focus on, you know, how much I paid on, like, so if you bought a tool that you
Right.
spent $500 to $1,000 on, you think you're going to use it all the time. It's going to be this great tool is going to make me all this money, and then it doesn't happen, or you never
Right.
open it, or it's not as easy as you thought, and then you don't want to sell it because you're going to lose money. And it's like, well, how much are you making on it with it just
By keeping it.
sitting there collecting
Right.
dust? Yeah. And then you get to hopefully pass it on to someone else potentially. Like when I sold my silhouette vinyl cutter, I kept holding on to it thinking I'm going to use it for, you know, shirts for the boys or stuff for the family or stuff for myself. And then I was hiring, you know, people, not hiring,
Right.
but, you know, having
Buying it
other
elsewhere.
people making
Yeah.
them for me because I didn't even want to
'Cause-
make it.
well,
I'm like,
'cause at that
why
point you
am I
had
holding
to-
on to this?
At that point, you had to unbury it Just
Right,
to
because
get
it was
to it.
under my desk. I have to plug it
Yeah.
in. I have to dust it off. I have to hope it
Right.
works. I have to get this heavy ass heat press
No, you didn't.
out.
I did.
And yes, exactly. But like it was just a lot. So it was like, well, all of that,
Right.
like I'm like, nah, I'm already
Yeah.
done. But I got to sell it to someone for $200 who wanted to get into it, and
Right.
who knows, what kind of gateway drug it was for her.
Yeah.
Attention all laser owners and crafters. Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than Crazy Laser Dad Laser Ready Blanks.
Their high quality blanks are expertly sourced, tested, and ready to use with your lasers. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for all your customers.
So, what are you waiting for? Visit crazylaserdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their laser ready blanks.
Welcome to the revolution in laser engraving. Introducing Lens Digital, the creators of the game-changing Pyburn rotary attachment. With the Pyburn 4.0, you can turn ordinary cups, tumblers, glasses, and more into extraordinary masterpieces.
Looking to engrave niche items or want the functionality of a Chuck rotary? Look no further than the Pyburn Grip, Lens Digital's Chuck-style rotary. With a range of different sized jaws, you can easily engrave a wide variety of items. All Lens Digital products are compatible with most CO2 and Galvo lasers and were designed specifically for the laser industry. All that, paired with the best-in-class customer support, Lens Digital is your one-stop shop for all of your rotary needs.
Transform your laser engraving game with Lens Digital, where makers succeed. Unleash your creativity today.
And don't forget, we are proud Lens Digital affiliates as well. If you're shopping, code Riley Black will take $50 off any order of $600 or more. So what
Yeah.
do you have coming up for your business? Are there any like big goals or things that you have for this year?
Well, every year we take a trip for 1 or 2 months. When I was in photography, I used
Wow.
to take 4 to 6 months off, but now we're down to
Damn.
like 1 or 2 months. We probably just do 1 month this year. We did 2 last year.
That's
And it just kind of feels like a lot when you have like a physical goods business that you have
Right.
to do. It's,
Right.
a little different.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we're starting to plan that road trip, and we still, like you can see in my background, I got photo video gear with me.
Yeah.
So we switched to doing like filming commercials for small businesses. So we'll go around the country doing that for a month or so. We'll pick
Nice.
up some photo gigs along the way, whatever. I'm still going to bring the inventory of those measuring bracelets
Of
because
course.
they're a hot seller, and we'll just
Right.
stock up before we go, and whatever we've got in stock will hopefully last us a month, and hopefully it'll only last us 3 days. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so do you shut down your shop for that month, or what do you do for that?
Yeah, so we did last year. We shut it down,
Okay.
and then we lost a ton of momentum by doing that. So this year
Mm.
we're hoping to like leave it open, but not make any more things. Just this is our
Okay.
inventory, and we're gonna deplete it until we get back to kind of keep the
Right.
momentum going.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So will you actually be like shipping things while you're gone?
Yep. Yeah, I'll take the thermal
Oh.
printer and the labels, and we can ship stuff.
Nice.
Everything
Yeah.
else is online. So yeah, we use
Yeah.
Pirate Ship, so it's just easy. And
Yeah.
TikTok
Yeah.
Shop makes it super easy to ship stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like TikTok shop?
Oh, I love it. It's like the
Yeah.
best thing, the shoppable video thing. Like, so at Olie's Images, we always put our booth right in the high traffic area, right? Like,
Mhm.
we'd figure out where people are going to be walking. Like,
Mhm.
most of the time, it was between the entry office and the concession stand, right? Like, they
Right.
got to enter, they got to
Yep.
eat. So we want to be right
Right.
there, traffic. And now with
Yeah.
TikTok, all of our traffic is right there. People are hanging out, they're swiping. We end up in their FYP. They can see the
Mhm.
video and go, "Oh, I need this right now." And so the closer you can get somebody to that instant gratification, the better
Right.
your business is going to be. And so we're right there. I mean, people are just laying there on the couch 24/7. They can swipe right by our
Scrolling.
video,
Doom
see
scrolling.
it. Yep, click that orange shopping cart, and a couple days later, it's in their hands. So it's a great deal.
Yeah. So, I mean, with the video stuff, it's kind of like you. It'll never really leave you.
No.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you just continue. Now, do you do shows and videos and stuff still now for business, or only when you're on this vacation?
We'll do, about once a month. We have a client that is like our main like commercial video client. We film commercials for her, the Cowboy Channel.
Nice.
But otherwise, we don't do a whole lot like around here. We just don't have the network. We'd moved here because almost all of our horse and rodeo clients come here in the winter. And so we service them throughout the winter, doing stallion photos or whatnot.
Right.
But mostly we try to just focus on Copper Cactus and grow our, because, Olie's Images has momentum. Like people think about it all the time or whatever. So like it's pretty easy to kind of let that slide for a bit and it still goes strong. Where Copper Cactus is in its infancy, so we got to be there and handhold it and, helicopter parent it for a while. And, we'll get it going. But right now it's like we got to put a lot of eggs in that or focus in that.
Well, and that's an extra bonus as far as like marketing and making stuff. Having that photography background is huge. I mean, I saw some of the pictures on your TikTok of the bracelets, and a good image will make or break what you're trying to sell. I see it all the time, especially when people are brand new. I used to talk about, there's someone we follow that would like take pictures on their bed and bedrooms in the background and all the things, and like, I used to have that comforter when I was in high school and that kind of stuff. And it's like they don't realize how like that's not enticing to most customers and buyers. They think like, I'm just doing this from my home, but like you kind of got to trick them and make them think that you're not doing it from home. Like they like the behind the scenes stuff, but they don't want the photo of the finished product to be a behind the scenes.
Right. Not everything is behind the scenes.
Right. It has its place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So having a good photo, which for me is something I really struggled with, because I would always have this like image in my head, but I didn't know how to make that happen with my phone or with the camera. And it's kind of similar to when I struggled with silhouette, when I didn't know the terminology to look for. And the photos, I'd see other people's photos and they would look amazing, right? But they'd be all like bright and cheery and farmhousey and, like show home. And I'm like, no, that's not me. That's not like, that wasn't like the style I was going for. And like, I finally figured out that the style I like is dark and moody. Right. And that like just changed my mind. It changed my world as far as figuring out like styles and what to put in the background and what props to use. And I was selling keychains. I'm like, I don't know what to put in the back. Like, does a plant make sense with a random keychain? And it can. Right. I just didn't having props, because like people who sell candles or soaps, that's easy. Right. You put like not easy, but to me it was easier because that's what I would see all the time was the candles and the soaps, and it's like, okay, you put that in like a cool, a bathroom ish, right? And a towel, and like it has a scent, so you put like if it's lemons and raspberries, you put a couple lemons and raspberries in there, and like you're golden. And like, there's no flavor or scent with.
The same thing could be said for keychains, because you can put it on a hook, because most people put their keychains on a hook. So if you wanted to go to like the realist, you just put it. You have a mock place where you put your keys, wherever whether you want the rustic and it says family. Or I know, but I'm saying, you can put keychains just on a hook. So it's, it could be said, you have to break it down to its like most simplest set, and like where do these water bottles live? Right. In the fridge. Yeah. Or in like a pantry. Where do keychains live? On a hook. Yeah. Where do candles live?
Or a catch-all dish.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yes, I did get some of those, and then it was hard because a lot of times a catch-all disc, the dish, they're like cluttered, so it's almost like making it look like one, but like a nice clean one.
Right. Or cluttered, but with the actual keychain that you're trying to picture
In
stand
focus.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Stand out somehow,
Yeah.
whether in focus or like drape over the edge, like just
Right.
something to make it stand out.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely I overthought it, and like I didn't see anyone else doing anything similar, so my brain couldn't go that way. It was
Right.
like, oh, it's not a candle or soap, and I don't know what to do. What do I do with this thing?
What do I do with my hands?
Right?
Just take a
Yep.
picture holding it.
Yeah.
I did a
Yeah.
Yeah,
lot.
no, that's what I'm saying. Because that's what you
Yeah.
do. You just hold it and
Right.
take a picture of it.
Well, and
Let's
that
just take it to IKEA and go bust in there and just set it in all their different our pre-made
Oh my
settings.
God. Well,
Yeah.
so someone did. I saw there was someone who I heard like did either like IKEA or like it was Big Lots or it was one of those things, or Lowe's or Home Depot. I think they sold tumblers, and they would, or something similar, and they would literally go to like the kitchen
Right.
setups
Area,
that they would
the mock,
have
yeah.
and
Yeah.
like take their pictures. And I mean, there's pretty great lighting in there usually. There's no service, but
Yeah, so there's no one there to tell you can't do that.
right, not that kind
Yeah.
of service. I mean, cell phone service.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that? There's that reel that's like, I'll go on HomeDepot.com to figure out where something is rather than actually talk to somebody.
Well, they
and
tell you to
ask
do that.
them. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
like if,
that's the
or
thing to
if
do.
if you ask one of them where it's at,
Yeah.
they'll pull their Home Depot
Their phone out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and look it up that way. Or they'll use their little scanner thing, but all
yes.
they're doing
Is doing
is
the
going
same
to
thing.
is using the internet from that to go to
All
HomeDepot.com.
the comments were like, "You have service in your Home Depot?" Because I mean, for me, my phone always
Right.
dies, no matter not dies, but like, there's no cell phone service
Right.
the second you walk
Right.
into any of those stores.
Right, and back to the pictures thing is like that reel of the girl going into Target and taking feet pics at all the different pillows,
Oh, yeah.
all the different
feet and
setups.
and the rugs,
Yeah, the
and
rugs and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Genius.
It's brilliant.
We should get back to that. See
Feet
how much
pics?
money
Yeah.
we can make.
Get back to that, huh?
Yeah, the first one
All
didn't
right.
make too much money.
No, it didn't.
It didn't make too much money. It's a lot of work.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's a lot
Photos
of
are
work.
everything.
It is.
You gotta
Yeah.
post. You gotta take
Oh.
them. You gotta post them.
Yeah, I literally did it once because I was like, you know what? Why not? I've been told
Right.
I'm all red. I've
Yeah.
been told a few times that I had nice, like cute
Yeah.
feet. For the longest
Yeah.
time, I didn't wear sandals because I was so self-conscious about my feet. And then I started looking at the feet of people who wore sandals, and I was like, oh, I'm fine. It's okay over here. I can display these bad boys.
I just got a pedicure. I wonder if my feet can get anything.
We should
There
put
you
them
go.
together.
Nice.
And then I went and got one pedicure, and then I posted them once, and then I never did it again. You have to market yourself. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to. I
Well,
don't
it's
have
a whole
time for
thing.
that.
Yeah, it's
is.
real work. Yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend is a photographer, and he does that for a lady. Like he's like her
Really?
photographer. Yep.
Her feet photographer. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
she does the fans, but
OnlyFans, yeah.
yeah, she's into
Yeah.
that. But yeah, that's what he does. Like she poses by the pool, whatever. Like they just
Yeah.
go around different places, rent an Airbnb, whatever.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my friends did OnlyFans as well, and she stopped doing it because it was so much work. Like
It's 'cause-
she
yeah,
had
you-
to
people talk
continually
about
post
it.
about it,
Yeah.
and like everyone's like, "Oh, the money sounds great," and it's like, sure,
Right.
but you don't realize how much. Like,
But I mean,
yeah.
to make that amount of money anywhere, you're gonna have to work.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
gonna have to put it.
Yeah.
People just think of it as like, oh, that's an easy way to make money. Sure, it's like there to
Right.
do.
Yeah.
But you have to put in the hours to make that money.
Well, yeah, and then it was like
Yeah.
I had a pedicure, and then like 3 days later, I'm like, I don't know if these are like picturable already.
Yeah.
People, they
Well,
don't
I know
care.
there's like a kink for everything,
don't
but
care.
again, like you have
There
to
is.
like
You just have to
market
keep up.
that.
You just have to keep.
Yeah.
You don't even have to market. You just have to keep it up.
Yeah.
You have consistency.
Well,
again.
and it was always awkward for me because then I was like, "What's in the background?" I'm like, "Is the house dirty in the background?" Like, what?
you think they're
whatever.
looking at the background.
When
Yeah.
I told you, I was like, the only way I'm going to be able to do it is if like you sneakily just take pictures.
That's against
Because
the
if
law.
I actually have to take
That's
pictures,
against the law. It's a
Is it?
sneak. Yeah.
if you're my husband,
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
still without like your
Okay, let's not
like
commit any
knowledge
crimes.
and
But
consent.
if
and
I give
everything
you
like that.
consent to
yeah,
secretly take
yeah, if
pictures,
I'm like your photographer.
Yeah. that's
okay,
fine.
how do we reel this back into laser stuff?
Well, speaking of
We've gone
kink,
off
we
the
can get
rails.
back to laser stuff by this
With
bridge,
kink.
right? I got you. We're gonna
Okay.
bridge this back. So
Let's
the
go.
bracelets, I found out there's a kink for these, the bracelet version, because we are selling these to corn stars and quinky people through Mr. Pure
Really?
Fashion. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So like 4 days after we like started going viral,
Yeah.
they reached out to me and said, "Man, this is like right in line with what we do." And
Yeah.
they make like a thing like a flogger
Uh-huh.
with these kind of bracelets, like or these kind of things.
Oh,
They make
uh-huh.
these into floggers. And so he said, "Listen, this is like exactly perfect for our audience." So
Yeah.
we went with them and we exclusively do the yellow, black, and purple. And we're working on
Huh.
some other colors, but they sell tons of them every day for us.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean that's a good think of like your main product or maybe something you really like to make or something that's doing well for you, and think of all the different industries it could
Right.
hit.
Be using.
Like, I mean, it's kind of like where Katie with Monarch Pine, she wants to try and get the keychain thingies out to like the ones who make keychains out of clay and all of those, because like my only exposure is the laser world for the
Right.
most part.
Right.
But going into those other industries and seeing how, like, okay, do you make keychains? Can these help you? Like,
Right, yeah.
is this the, a close lane, or is there just a tiny little tweak I need to make and now it is,
Right.
That kind of thing. So yeah, that was a pretty good kink bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did the idea for the bracelets come about?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so the first video is kind of the main one that blew up, and that's when I was watching a lot of Tested from Adam Savage. You guys remember him from Mythbusters?
Yes.
He has a tattoo of a
right.
ruler right here on
Right.
his arm, and it's got a bunch of different things on it. Whatever, it's way too complicated. And I thought, like,
Yeah.
how can I have something that's like on me but not
Tattooed.
permanently on me?
Right.
I just didn't like. I didn't feel like that was like the best move. But yeah, so I kind of just talked about it in that video, and that sat dormant for 3 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe something like that. And then somebody asked me to make them a 15-inch one because their wrist was 15 inches wrapped around twice. So I said, "Hey, this comment says make me a 15-incher," and I'm sold. And that was my hook.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that video just hit 700,000 yesterday or last week.
Wow.
And it's hit 740 as of today. So it
Nice.
just keeps climbing. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, just riding the ride until
Yeah.
it falls off.
Yeah.
So the wheels
Right.
fall off.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, TikTok reached out to me and they're helping me. They're helping me like 4 weeks into like an advertising thing to kind of like once a week they check in and help me get
That's cool.
TikTok ads going. So we're working on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can make another wave go.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and so this new TikTok stuff, where like with the ban or like the sale and all that, like what are your thoughts on all that, and especially since, TikTok has done really well for your business?
Yeah. So we're just gonna ride it until it fizzles out. If it does, I mean, it's
Right.
going to eventually, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I had my space. You know what I mean? So I
Right,
had a
exactly.
glitch. Like, what am I thinking the right word? Like, I've had
Don't
my
age us
space.
like
You know,
that.
I've had all kinds of stuff. So eventually, this is gonna go away. There's gonna be something else. It's just like I'm really invested in shoppable content.
Yeah.
And Amazon is doing that. I have an
Right.
Amazon app where I can go live and talk and do shoppable content with all my Amazon links, or
Yeah.
or whatever. So like there's always something. There's always going to be
Right.
a way to do it. Somebody's going to either buy it or reinvent the wheel kind of similarly. Maybe
Right.
Vine will come back. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like there's something
Right.
that's going to work. And so
Yeah.
I'm more invested in the idea of shoppable content. I like that. Whether it's
Yeah.
TikTok or something else is irrelevant to me, but I do
Yeah.
really like TikTok, and I've had the best experience on TikTok. Instagram is like, yeah, but Facebook was good for me, and I just get like, I've gotten a lot of like hate or something, you know, like mean comments, not like hate, but like
Right.
plenty of mean comments on those other platforms. But on TikTok, it's like, these are all my friends, and like we all just like each other and we get along, and like it's
That's
just
great.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, it always just feels good.
Yeah. Well,
That's
and
fair
I
enough.
mean, you also, it sounds like you also don't have, even though TikTok is your most successful avenue right now, it doesn't sound like that's the only avenue that you have either. And then, I mean, you also have the photography to fall back on, and like, you know, just not having all your eggs in one basket. You know, we ran into the detailing guy that you
Yep.
know, that you've met in connections, and you know, we were talking about just business in general, and I was telling him how, you know, he does really well on Instagram. He has a great following on Instagram. His girlfriend has a great following on TikTok. And this is, I mean, I need to take my own advice, but I was telling him, like, you need to have an email list, because, you know, if any of these social medias fall off for some reason, or, you know, we've all heard the horror stories about like that being shut down or hacked or whatever. And that email list is always what you fall back on to make sure that you can still connect to
Right.
your customers. And even if it's not an email list, having a way to, like, you know, get those
Get to them,
content,
yeah.
get those contacts, because if you only like sell through Etsy, technically you don't own those contacts. So you need to
Right.
make sure to find ways to get people, you know, whether it be, the technical term is a lead magnet. So whether it be like they get 10% off if they,
Right.
you know, sign up for your email list, or they get a free file or a free podcast episode or whatever. It can be a
Right.
million different things.
Newsletter.
Right. But doing that to make sure that you can keep the connection going, and just doing all the things will help, but not just one thing.
Right. All
Yeah.
the things.
Yeah. But what I was going to ask you was, what advice would you give to like new you, from what you know now? What would you tell new Olie?
Oh, save your money.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
Yeah, I
really?
mean, like, no, I would just say, like, it's all gonna work out. You know, it always works out. You know, just stay positive.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
I was always positive. I don't know. I was always just like this, I guess. You know, like
Yeah.
positive, wing it. Like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It always is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the one that we've been telling ourselves a lot lately is this too shall pass one.
Yep.
Yep.
Everything is great. This too shall pass.
Yeah.
Everything is horrible. This too shall
shall
pass. So just
Yep.
making sure to, like, you know, keep going.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
we talked to Robert Kofed, it was, man, before we even had video, I think.
Right.
And he was just giving kind of advice, because that was when, like, the, you know, things started brewing about economy and all
Yeah.
that. And he's like, you know, he had a business through several of these like downturns
Collapse,
or
yeah.
whatever in the economy. And he's like, all you got to do is make it through.
Yeah.
Keep going, make practical, like, you know, your bracelet, make practical, usable products that can
Yeah.
solve a problem, and you'll always have a business.
Yeah. As long as you're solving problems.
Yep.
Yeah. Except I struggle to solve my own damn problems. So maybe that's
Right. Well, there's somebody out there that can solve your problems, you know,
Right,
and then you can
right,
pay
yeah.
them for that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what we do with commercial videos too. You know, like
Yeah.
they don't know how to make a video of themselves, and
Right.
and even after they've watched me do it every single time for years, my customer sends me videos that she makes sometimes, and it is, oh man, I'm like, you learn nothing from hanging out with me, have you? She'll be like, no lights, no
Yeah.
mic, nothing. This crazy angle. I'm like, lady.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
the worst though is when she blurs her own face on purpose. It's just like a big blurred circle.
On purpose?
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I hope she hasn't watched this episode. But I think I've told her to her face plenty of times that this is like a weird thing to do. She's pretty too. Like she has good looks. She has fake teeth and everything. Like she is like, she's
but probably self-conscious like the rest of us
so
women.
self-conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she'll
And,
even
I
just
swear it's the
wear it.
prettiest ones too. It's always the prettiest ones that are like, oh, I'm so self-conscious. Like I saw I was watching a photographer, and he was one of those photographers that like walks up to like really cool and interesting people and asks like if I can take a picture of you. And she was like, oh no, I don't take pictures well. And he was like, I think I can, I can take a pretty good picture of you. And she was like, and he was like, here's the deal. He was like, if it's a terrible photo, I'll delete it right in front of you, and like, we'll go on our merry way. And she was like, okay, reluctantly. And of course he took amazing pictures of her, and because she was gorgeous too. And I'm like, okay, if she has self-esteem, like where should mine be? But yeah, it's true. I mean, and those are all, a lot of times those are usually the things that also none of us would pay attention to, like the people who are watching her or those people. We don't pay attention or notice those, especially men. You guys don't notice any of that crap.
Just let it go.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're always going to need, and it's kind of like photography. If it wasn't for the fact that I couldn't afford the level of photography that I wanted or needed with my product photos, I would have hired out for that. But my stubbornness and not being able to like afford it, or not necessarily, that's not where I wanted to put my money. I wanted to put that money into something else. But that finally got me to the point of taking decent photos that I'm actually proud of now, and I'm not like, well, here's this photo, it'll do.
Yep, exactly.
So you also gave our members some discounts too. So the one, the Buddy, the general admission
one
is 10%, right?
Yep.
TRBP 10 for see, now I'm gonna not mess it up. Copper Cactus Collective.com, right?
Yeah. And that's good for anything on our website, but we do have like a maker's side to our website.
Oh, perfect.
Where we have SVGs and stuff like that. That's like for makers, some tools and stuff like that. So that'll get you a discount on any of that stuff or whatever else you want.
Yeah.
I just set it to the whole website because why not?
And then a bigger one for the paid members, of course, for our patrons.
So if you haven't joined Patreon yet, now's a good time to sign up.
Hey, and you could use that 10% and get you one of the bracelets.
Yep. And then use the 10% over at Monarch Pines as well.
That's all the 10%. Yeah,
all the 10%. There's a bunch of percentage.
They add up.
Yeah. And it's as low as $4 a month.
One day it's gonna feel not awkward to like sell ourselves.
It doesn't feel awkward at all.
It does for me. Like even hearing you say it. I know.
So sign up for
just do it more times. You just need more reps.
That's it. That's all you need.
True. It is true. I mean, like I've been trying to go live more often, and like the more you do stuff, the more a little less weird.
The more comfortable you feel.
Yeah. And I mean, I did a live the other day when I was like packing a bunch of orders, and I actually got a sale from it. And I was like, do the lives, do the things, just do it. Like what is it? You can't, that people won't know about your business. You have to talk about your business for them to know about your business. Yeah,
that's right.
Where can people find you? Speaking of talking about your business,
right?
Oh, I'm at Copper Cactus Collective. Just about everywhere, I think.
On all the things.
Yeah, all the things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun hanging out with you, Olie.
It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate you having me on. Yeah, you guys are fun.
Oh,
definitely
and
gonna buy one of those.
You join. I want to plug Stephanie's. You both do the Laser Talk live on most Thursdays, right?
Yeah. That's so you can hop on her channel. Yeah.
Yeah, so she goes live on her channel Thursdays around 8, right?
8 Central, 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
My time, yeah.
And what's that? And what's that page?
Stephanie's page, the Country Porch Swing.
Country Porch.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So we usually go for a couple hours on there and just talk about whatever comes up. We usually just pick on John.
Yeah.
Good times.
What did I do?
Not you.
No, the other
John.
John.
But
John
he's
with
very
laser
easy
creation.
to pick on.
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't know him, and
Sorry,
I was
yeah.
joining in on the picking on him too, because it was really easy. He
He just
was.
tees it up there for us, you know.
He does. He somehow they got on
Yeah.
the topic of him sharding, and so then the whole time everyone gave him shit
Cool. Ha.
Yeah,
about sharding.
literally.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't chart.
Well, we don't know that to be true.
We're like, I don't know, John. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun hangout, and they're usually making stuff and just talking about
That's
random
cool.
stuff,
Yeah.
but laser stuff too. So yeah, check it
Yeah,
out.
check
Yeah.
them out too.
Yeah.
Well,
it's all
thanks
good.
for hanging out with us.
Of course,
And,
happy to be here.
Yeah, and you guys stick around for the life update coming up. And we are back.
Whoop whoop
Whoop whoop.
whoop whoop.
What do we have
What's
to
that?
talk about for the life update?
Oh,
We're in Vegas.
Yeah, we're in Vegas.
We're in Vegas, living it up.
Hopefully
Or
living it up.
we were in Vegas.
I have
depending
no
on
idea what
time.
I even want to do. I keep going back and forth. I'm like, do I want to go to this trip? Do I want to do all the things?
It's Monday,
Do I
we
want to
leave
just
Wednesday.
stay?
And she has no
We leave
idea.
Thursday. Thank you very much.
Thursday.
And yeah, I don't. So there's a couple places I think I want to go, and I should probably figure that out. But then I'm trying to get everything ready and make sure all orders are done and things are ready. And
But you're not going to be able to make sure all the orders are done until Wednesday night anyway.
I know.
So
Whatever. But yeah, so I'm going to celebrate my 40th.
welcome to the club.
Yay.
40.
I'm glad to be
Yep.
here.
Over
Which
the
I mean,
hill.
I am. I'm glad to be here.
You better be because
so-
there's no choice.
But yeah, turning the ripe old age of 40, and
Yep.
then also kind of early celebrating our anniversary. Our
haven't-
anniversary is actually in June.
Yeah, we haven't been back to Vegas
Since we got married
10 years ago.
Yeah. So
A
yeah, we
lot's
got married and
changed.
we never went back.
A lot's changed.
Unfortunately,
The venue that we got married at does not exist anymore.
they were like, "Happy anniversary!
We're closing.
We're gonna tear it down."
Yeah, before you guys come.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So there's
thanks
that.
for that, Tropicana. Yeah. So just hang out with.
And the club that we met at does not exist
No.
anymore.
Yeah. No. So.
But that's to be expected
to-
for a club.
yeah. 'Cause
There it is. She went the
Hey.
whole episode.
Oh man, I was just gonna say, yeah, I made it all that time, and we've been recording at night again.
Yep.
Just to allow more time for other business activities.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of other business activities,
Yeah, hopefully they're paying off.
Yeah.
Well, not hopefully, they are paying off because I've gotten.
They are.
I mean, I've just gotten a lot of people coming back, just reaching out back to me
Again,
via
yeah.
email or text or whatever.
Right.
So hopefully those turn into things. I did get a phone call today, but they were,
pretty
but
good one.
yeah, but they unfortunately, well, I got two phone calls. One
You
pretty
did.
good one, and one that they wanted still photos, which I don't really. I can do,
right?
but it's not something that I'm confident
Right.
or willing to put Riley Black Media
Right.
name behind
Yeah.
yet.
Right.
And then also too, like I'm not gonna take a picture and give them a raw picture.
Right.
It has to be edited, and
Right.
I'm not there with photo editing yet.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I turned that one down just because it didn't feel right.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I mean that phone call was made.
Right.
The fact that my name is being out there. Oh, I've been
Right.
locally. I've been tagged in a few posts.
Yes.
So like that is
In
is
events
working.
that are the weekend
of course this
Vegas.
weekend. Yeah, yeah. So that's great.
Yeah.
That like there is the momentum, and I'm seeing the results from doing. And then
Yeah.
we also started. You guys know that we've been doing a lot of networking events.
Yeah.
That just haven't been as fruitful as we've
Right.
hoped.
Right.
So we started scaling back a little bit and like going, instead of weekly, going once a month.
Right.
So that way we're still a part of, that.
We're still showing up.
Yeah.
And we're still there, and our
Yeah, our
face
face
is
is still-
still
right.
And people still remember that you exist because
Right.
let's be real, if we don't go for like
Yeah.
6 months, they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, where are they at?
Right. And then, and then today, so we went today, and it was nice because as we were leaving, one of the guys that have been there that, didn't know, never never expressed any interest.
Never showed any interest,
or
yeah.
anything. Was
Yeah,
like,
he's super cool dude, yeah.
Yeah, he's really cool. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, I was talking, you know, he's like an investment guy.
Yeah.
And what videos really, you know, could I pitch to him?
Right.
Except for like branding,
Right.
but you know, his branding is that going to networking meetings and just meeting the people instead of like videos.
Right.
But he even it stopped us in the parking lot. Was like, you know, I've been thinking and talking it over with a few people of you know hiring you guys on to do a video for me just because you know we feel comfortable and we got to help each other out and stuff like that. So like just that and that comment alone is like, okay, these are still like we definitely have to come to them. Maybe just not as often because.
Well, and then so we walked in, and it's still a newer one in our city.
Yeah.
But we were kind of spoiled with the first one, with their pretty good turnouts at the first one.
Right.
And then we came to this one.
Immediately, like everybody was like, "Oh, I want a business card, this and that."
Right. Yeah. And then we came today, and there was like, you know, we were kind of peeling ourselves out of bed.
Yeah.
We didn't really want to go.
Yeah, kind of forgot about it.
I totally forgot about it. And then he was like, oh, it's the first Monday of the month. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. You know, because they take a lot out of me when I go, because I have to like, you know, I have to interact with people.
Well, not to mention that pitch.
Yeah, right. And pitching
because
to them.
All of them, you know, you're allotted, I think, 45 seconds.
Yeah.
To pitch your business to everybody in
and
the
he
room.
did give me a prop today for my pitch today, so that was kind of nice.
That's good.
But there was only like 5 people.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, and I mean, 5 people, and 3 of them, 3 or 4 of them we already knew, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but again,
all right, well, and then those 2 people showed up at the end, which seemed to show some interest in like potential,
but not only
like realtor and closing gifts,
right?
and
but
stuff.
the one guy who talked to me,
right,
and then the other guy was asking you about tumblers,
right? And I've seen him a million times, and he's never shown interest,
right?
So yeah, and it's hard because it's like, you don't know. Like if I keep going, am I wasting my time and pulling myself from something else?
Right.
Or if I keep going, is it just like that one more meeting that, again, these 2 people that we see all the time who are very friendly but have never really spoken about potentially needing our services, all of a sudden mention needing our services.
Right.
And then it's the fact how when we don't go to that one, the other video guy shows up every time.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on. Like we had literally gone like 6 weeks in a row, and we didn't go 1 week because of like we couldn't go, and he showed up. And then it happened again. Yeah. We went like 3 weeks, and then we didn't go because we couldn't. And then he like, it was like,
and for me, it's not even that the competition is there.
Right.
It's I get to talk to someone.
Right.
I missed the opportunity to talk to him, to kind of like pick his brain a little bit about the community, how it is having a video services business, like just to talk to him to see like, what can you tell me about, because clearly you've been in business here a lot longer, so what are those steps, just to just to kind of have that connection, and who knows, maybe even have a freelance opportunity, with him and his company in case he needs another shooter or something like that. But that's been, we just keep missing each other. But I did connect through the networking like events or whatever I did, and people like mentioning me in Facebook. I did connect with another local videographer, which didn't go like. He wasn't the one that I really needed, I need to talk to, because I think he's on the outs of like leaving the video.
Just not doing it that much, and he's not someone you need like that really would be beneficial to align with.
Yeah, talking with him, it didn't seem like he had the same drive.
Yeah.
Where these other guys, because I follow all of them on social media. Right. And he's the one with like the least amount of content. Yeah. These other guys have a bunch of content. So it's like, I want to talk to these guys just to like get the feel of like how to do it, and then eventually get to like because I mean these are some bomb videos that they have on Instagram. Yeah. And I mean it helps because they're a crew of 4 or 5. Right. So like it's easy. Not easy, but it's easier than, me, one guy. And then also too, it's also a presence. I mean, I show up to a shoot, it's just me, I'm doing everything, as opposed to him, he shows up with a crew, everyone's, in the same shirt, they're all doing their thing. It's more impressive. So Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but slowly,
gotta start
we're getting
somewhere.
there. We're getting there. We're
Yeah.
getting there. We're getting our name out there. We're getting traction. It's just a slow. It's going just a little slower than we'd like.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah. We
all.
wish we
But-
were rolling in the dough.
Right. Right. I don't even want to be
but-
rolling in the dough.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
just
true.
want to be surviving.
Right. Exactly.
A little better than we're doing now.
Yeah.
That's it.
We'll get
But
there.
we can use your help. Patreon.
Yes. Yeah. Keep us
Yeah.
showing here, showing up
Yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah.
and then the rest
Yeah.
will fall into place.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think with that, it's been a great. We have a
We do.
launch coming
Ooh,
up.
10 minutes.
Because we're on the space coast, so we get to go outside in the backyard and watch shuttles get launched.
Yeah.
Every so
Pretty
often.
cool.
It is pretty
Pretty
cool.
damn cool.
Yeah. So thank you guys for all the continued support, and it's been
Yes.
another great episode of the Ride Back Project. Crystal and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done.